everyone, welcome back. Thanks for coming to my channel. I appreciate it. If you end up liking the video, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, subscribe. Plan to do a few of these. A friend of mine wanted me to make a beginner's video because I'm a beginner. I just found acrylic painting last October and thought, where have you been all my life? So, I wanted to show you a few things. I got a list here. Let's just go through it. Basics, absolute 101 if you want to get into acrylic painting. Have a level surface. I have a level table. Check for level. I have black garbage bags on the table. And I have taken to using sheets of parchment paper. I went to Sam's. I have parchment paper for days, and these are great to dry skins on if you want to making jewelry or magnets or something. But you know, I do have a lowly Veffy mat. It's actually filthy right now. They're awesome, but you know, whatever works for you. You can't jump in at the top right off the bat, so that'll give you something to start with. Supplies. Oh buddy, you're going to need canvases. Go to Michael's, Hobby Lobby. My closest Michael's is 50 miles away, so I go to Hobby Lobby and Joann's. But you can get real good deals on these little canvases. This one's 8 by 10. It feels like a miniature lately. But pick up packs of those, bunches of them, whatever size you're going to work with. I'd suggest to start small, and when you go bigger, these small ones are still good for testing your paint combinations before you spew a whole gallon of it out on something. For your canvases, you're going to want push pins to put in the corners, either the little ones or the big ones. You're going to want a bottle of water, just plain water, to spritz on your canvas. I soak mine down, rub it in, make sure it goes in the corners. This tightens up the canvas so it sounds like a drum. That's what you want. Little quick tip, if your table is level, when you put in your push pins, show you how to test for level right quick. I just stick it in the corners in the joint of the wood there. Set it down on your table and tap your corners like that. If your corners don't rock, your canvas is level. If your table's level. Gotta check something for level, or you're gonna have a mess on one side and a broken heart. Word. Okay, paint. Floetrol, get your gallon of Floetrol. I'm on my 3rd or 4th gallon. I've taken to mixing my white and half-gallon milk jugs. You're gonna think you're eating this stuff anyway. So load up on white. I keep my Floetrol in a jug we got from a hospital stay at some point, but it's good. Strain your Floetrol into that. You're gonna want cups if you're gonna do straight pours. Get a bunch of them, all different sizes. Cut one end out when you want to do a pour like that, easy peasy. This is about the size, or this is about the size. This is, what, that's like a shot, maybe 1.5 ounces. This is a 3 ounce. That's about the size you want for an 8 by 10. And speaking of that right quick, I keep a notebook. I've got every painting in here I've done. I keep notes on what colors I use, how I layered the cup, if it was a layered cup, etc., etc. I've got another section that's just general information I need to figure out how much paint you need for a canvas. You take the width times the height and then divide that by 28. That's the magic number. And that gives you how many ounces of paint you need to cover that canvas. So a 5 by 7 takes an ounce and a quarter. 20 by 20 takes 14.3. So yeah, we gonna graduate. But that's just handy because as soon as you mix a color, and I hope you're gonna mix colors, that's what these little cups are good for too. These I got at Dollar Tree, and they're 10 cups and 10 lids for $1. And that's pretty good deal because these lids actually fit these cups. I bought a pack of 50 of those someplace else, and none of the lids fit. I think there were like 3 lids that fit out of that whole thing. That was very frustrating. You don't want paint to dry out. You need a lid that fits. If you're going to do Dutch pours, well, anything actually, I think these are just handy dandy. Squeeze bottles. Pick all of them up that you can. These are OXO brand. I keep my white in there. I'm out of black, but I've got one for black. These, I just got these at Hobby Lobby. They're 8 ounce, and the markings actually on here, so you can see how many ounces. I do mine by weight. Oh yeah, I forgot that piece of equipment. Scale and a baggie, keep the paint off of it. I'll show you later how to measure paint. Squeeze bottles, let's see, those are the ones from Joann's. Yeah, these are the Wilton brands, the kind that Canella uses. And these I picked up at Dollar General. These are in the candy making aisle if your General has one of those. These are the Lolivefe squeeze bottles. They are awesome. I love these tips. A few less boogers, paint boogers with that. That's an awesome one. And then paint. Yeah, you're going to need paint. Usually going to get tubes or these little bottles, and you mix them differently. This is generally 1 part paint to 2 parts Floetrol. This is 1 to 1. 2 ounces of paint, 2 ounces of Floetrol. Find your favorite artists and watch them a lot. There are some that I could be accused of stalking, I would imagine. I've watched their videos so many times, but that's how you learn. Don't say you can't do it because they couldn't do it again. However, that paint ended up, because the paint you're going to find has got personalities. I mean, like, I haven't given them names. They already have names. But they just act differently. Sometimes they don't play well with each other. You just got to have fun. Take a breath. I mentioned paper clips, parchment paper. Oh, yeah. If you're going to do Dutch pours, you got to have a hairdryer. Pick this up, 12, 13 bucks, something like that. But I just taped the concentration nozzle onto it, and there's the button to get cool air, because cool air does seem to blow better. Use whatever works for you. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, whole bunches of paper towels. I've got a roll standing up over here, and I've got like 15 sheets torn off and stacked up, and I've also got 4 or 5 pre-wadded, ready to grab with drippy fingers. I've got a dirty little tile sitting over here on the side. I've got some coasters that I did, but these are just palette knives. I don't have the fancy OXO spatula that Canella Sirocco uses. You got to check her out if you love Dutch pours. But that's on my Amazon wish list. We'll see what happens. I've got a cup full of stirry sticks. I got the little ones. These seem to work better in the smaller cups. These are kind of too much for the little cups, but whatever works for you. A little bottle of water. I've got my bottle of varnish over there and various sundry other things. But it's going to take some supplies to do this, so just start getting what you can where you can and jump in when you can. Because it's all about having fun. I swear Bob Ross is my spirit animal. Happy little accidents. But I will show you quickly. This is the very first piece I ever did. Isn't it precious? Her little 5x7. Feels like a miniature. But I ruined it. Basically trying to figure out how to varnish, which I think I've got whipped. Knock on wood. There's wood under there. But that's my first one. This one, I don't know why, I just started out numbering. It helps keep them in my, straight in my notebook too. That's the fourth piece I ever did. That's my Dutch pour. I like purple. And copper didn't kill everything in that one. That one's all right. This one, number 38. And that might be getting poured over. I don't know. Didn't really trip my trigger. But the varnish on it's not bad. Now this one, those little extra paints that you have left over afterward in your cup, like maybe a 1/4 ounce of each color, throw them in a cup sometime, throw them down, see what happens. That's what happened in this instance. And that one's number 49. But just jump in there and do it. A friend of mine that's wanting to try it keeps saying, I'm afraid I'm going to screw up. Well, you can't screw it up because you're the one doing it. And it's going to turn out how it's supposed to turn out. So get in there and do it. I think I hit the high notes on most all the basics. Oh, cleanliness. Buy a box of gloves. I recycle. If the fingers aren't stuck together, they're good to go. Paint clothes. Yes, please. Go pick out 2 or 3 shirts. 2 or 3 sets of sweats or scrubs, whatever whatever trips your trigger, whatever you're comfortable in. Designate those as your paint clothes and make sure you're wearing those every time you're around wet paint. Take it from the klutz. If you've got any hair, tie it back. Oh, did I mention? I didn't mention that. Torch. Got to have a good torch. I've got a good torch on the way thanks to Sarah Mack and Heather Mader. Both of those, if you check them out, they have got codes on their latest videos for a new torch, which is awesome, and I can't think of the name right now, but I've got one on the way. It's supposed to be here Monday or Tuesday. Whoop, whoop. This one is me. I got it at a big box store kind of place, but it doesn't like to light. I have clicked this button, I'm telling you, 15 times before the thing lights. No, ain't got time for that mess. So I got me a new one on the way. Now that I cussed that one, it'll work just fine. Watch. But grab your paints, grab your bottles, mix up your Floetrol and your paint. Throw water in there. Yeah, one of these, I want to show you that right quick. I forgot about that. On the mixtures, again, watch your favorite artists, find them, watch the hooey out of them, take notes. How a lot of them most of them tell you how they mix their paints. This is something I wasn't really crazy about. All these little white freckle dots all over the place, cells. That happened when I was using water. I went to, I was doing Dutch pours, and I had sort of a Dutch pour mix. So I started going to straight pours, but I was using that kind of mix. And I was getting those white freckles in everything. So I started doing straight pours. I was watching Sarah Mack and Mina Villegas. Whoop, whoop. And Mina might use a little bit of water. She does sometimes. But Sarah rarely uses water in her straight pour mix. And when I did that, eliminated the water and just used Floetrol and paint, boom, no white cells. So, I don't know. That's what worked for me. You do you. And that's what this is about. It's about having fun and just you know, kind of getting away from it all for a little bit. So don't make it a race. Bob Ross is my spirit animal. There are no mistakes, only happy accidents. Catch you for the next one. Thanks for coming by.